standards. Standards are essential in creating and maintaining an open and competitive market for equipment manufacturers and in guaranteeing national and international interoperability of data and communication technologies. So, standards are important for maintaining the interoperability of data. That means data should be operated within various communities. So standards are essential for that. Standards provides guidelines to manufacturers, vendors, government agencies and other service providers to ensure the kind of interconnectivity. So they are providing guidelines to manufacturers, vendors, then government agencies also, and other service providers to ensure kind of interconnectivity necessary in today's marketplace and in international communication. Data communication standards fall into two categories: de facto, meaning by fact or by convention, and de jure, meaning by law and by regulation. So, there are two main categories: de facto and de jure. De facto standards that have not been approved by the organized body but have been adopted as standards through widespread are called de facto standards. The de facto standards are often established originally by manufacturers. Now, de jure, those standards that have been legislated by an officially recognized body. De jure standards. Standards organizations. Standards are developed through the corporation of standards creation committees, forums, and government regulatory agencies. Standards creation committees. Standards creation committees. While many organizations are dedicated to establishment of standards, data telecommunication in North America rely primarily on those published by following. First is International Organization for Standardization, that is ISO. Second is International Telecommunication Union Telecommunication Standard Sector, that is ITU-T. Third is American National Standards Institute, ANSI. Institute. Fourth is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE. Now, Electronic Industries Association, EIA. So these are basically few standard creation committees. Now first is ISO. The ISO is a multinational body whose membership is drawn mainly from standards creation committees of various governments. The ISO is active in developing cooperation in realm of scientific, technological and economical activity. Second is ITU-T, that is International Telecommunication Union. By the early 1970s, a number of countries were defining national standards for telecommunication, but there was still little international compatibility. So, by early 1970s, there were committees which were the United Nations responded by forming as a part of International Telecommunication Union, that is ITU, a committee, the Consultative Committee for International Telegraphy and Telephony. This committee was devoted to research and establishment of standards for telecommunication. So the Consultative Committee for International Telegraphy and Telephony, CCITT. So this was also formed. Now the third is American National Standard Institute, ANSI. Despite its name, the American National Standard Institute is completely private, non-profit corporation not affiliated by US federal government. Now fifth is IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It is the largest professional engineering society in the world. The international in scope, it aims to advance theory, creativity and product quality in fields of electrical engineering, electronics, and radio. Now, EIA, aligned with the ANSI, the Electronic Industries Association, is a non-profit organization devoted to promotion of electronics manufacturing concerns. So these are few standard creation committees.